morning and welcome to the weekly Coach's Kage show brought to you by 3KG, thekage.com. And we're looking back at week number 8 results and week number 9 in the regular season as it wraps up this Friday night, or this week anyways. We've got one school playing on Thursday. And we'll also take a peek at the sectional drawing, which is always fun every year. Last week's scores included Rensselaer Central 41, Northwestern 3, Andrean 33, Kankakee Valley nothing, West Central 46, Frontier 6, South Newton 43, South Central nothing, Indiana Deaf 30, Tri-County 22, and North White 28, North Newton 18. North Newton will be at Tri-County in a Midwest Conference game that, we'll be at. We will broadcast that live. Looking forward to seeing you guys again. And I'm sure two teams with a lot of will to win, close the regular season on a good note.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully we'll get good weather and it'll be a good game.
Joining us now is North Newton coach Scott Rao. And, Coach, give us a little look back at last week's contest. You scored more points than you have been scoring.
Right. We did. We in the last couple weeks, I said this week, we got past the halftime. The 2 weeks before this last weekend, we would play really good in the first half, and it'd be a close game. It'd be very competitive, and then we'd kind of fall apart in the second half and get behind and end up losing. I was against Frontier and then against Delphi. We did much better in the third quarter and fourth, and we had opportunities during the second half to make some stops and possibly get some more points. And things just didn't go our way. They made a couple plays that they needed to make at the time they needed to make them, and we were unable to, and which is what a competitive game usually comes down to, one or two plays that are crucial at different times. And that's what I always tell my kids. I say that's why you got to play every down like it's the most important one, because I don't know when that play might be in the third quarter, might be in the second quarter when that crucial play is going to happen. So unfortunately, we just didn't get done. The kids played hard, though. I mean, we played hard, and like I said, got through the halftime. So that was one thing I told them we needed to do. So hopefully we'll continue that and do it even better this next week.
Let's talk about some of the people that played well for you last Friday.
As usual, I thought our quarterback, Rhett Fox, really had a much better game than he's had before. I mean, he threw for quite a few yards, and they were giving us the passing lanes and kind of really crowding up on the box and really taking some stuff away from us. When we could get some time and do some things, he played a much better game than he's, so the improvement is you can really see it in him. He's getting a little bit more confident. He's got things went a little bit better. Obviously, our seniors that are playing, I thought Cale Ellinger out at split end had a couple of really nice catches and really made some nice plays from his receiver position and getting open, making the catches. Sometimes they're contested, sometimes they weren't. The same with Connor Scatella from the halfback. He had a couple of really nice long pass plays, which and at the other halfback, I thought really had a pretty good game. Two of our linemen, Diego Diaz and Sebastian Schoon, I moved them around, tried to get them in position where they could help us most, and they did a really fine job too, because sometimes they had to play positions that they weren't used to playing. So that's one of the things we've done this year is I got guys that have played a lot of different spots, doing a lot of different things. I got Dirk Port, who's a senior, was a split end. He's now playing offensive tackle, and he's doing the best he can.
Is that a hard adjustment
I,
to go from a skilled position to a lineman?
I think it is. I mean, his biggest issue is, I mean, he's not very big, but he's smart, and so that's why we could do it. He knows what he's supposed to be doing, and he picked up stuff really fast. Yeah, it is. I mean, all the rules are different, and everything you got to do is different, and which is the reason we went to him. I said, everybody else I got doesn't know what they're doing, but at least I know being a senior, he's been around in the program long enough, and he's heard me say it so many times that he kind of knows what we're talking about when we're telling him how to block and where to block and what to do. So he's able to do it, so that really has helped us out quite a bit.
That's really got to be tough on you guys when you're making changes due to necessity, as opposed to, strategy-wise and things and finding what's best.
Well, what's interesting enough about that, what I'm finding out is that the amount of strategy that we're trying to use is actually a lot more, because we really have some people who are playing out of position. They're not really into what they're doing. So you have to come up with new ways of doing this, because it's not like, if you get to where you have large numbers of players, or even if you get to an upper level program or something, that guy's not here, I can just put this guy in. He's been practicing the same position. No, I got to take a guy that's from a completely different position, put him there, and usually I got to move 3 or 4 guys around to substitute for one just to get it fixed. So your strategy level is a lot higher, trying to figure out how to take what I have available and put it in a position that it can work.
We're talking with North Newton football coach Scott Rao. Scott, game you can watch right here on 3KG Friday night. You travel over to Tri-County. Give us the lowdown on the Cavs and what your game plan is.
Well, we're going into a game, and it's good. Like I said, I think it'll be very competitive. They're similar to us, and what they have to do, and Jake's been working really good with them, and they've gotten better over the course of the year, and I think we have too. Over the course of the year, it's going to be a very competitive game. It's going to come down to who can control the turnovers, and who can take advantage of opportunities when they become available. If you get the ball in a good position, you got to make sure you have the ability to score. You got to put it in, and then there's going to come a time when we're probably going to have to step up and stop them when it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. And somebody's got to step up and make plays, and it's going to come down to who makes the most on those plays. Because other than that, I think we're fairly equal. It's going to be a pretty good game.
I was waiting for you to say whoever scores the most points. That's the key, right?
I was saving that one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that is the key. But like I said, they got to take advantage of it when we have the opportunity.
Right.
If we get that chance, we got to score.
This series has really been tight. Shows here 7-6 in North Newton's favor over the last 15 years, 35 years. So you guys haven't really played all that much. And then last year you won 12-0.
Yeah. So, last year was, the game went pretty well, except it absolutely poured for most of the game. And neither team could really hang on to the football. It got pretty ugly just trying to get a snap, but we were able to pull it out, and it was a good win last year at our place. So I'm hoping we don't get a repeat of that weather, because that was some brutal rain.
We could take a look up now 2 weeks. Coach, you're in, of course, Sectional 41, Class 1A, and in with South Newton as far as our local schools go, and you're in the top half of that bracket. Pretty big game. It's really not that bad of a draw when you look at who the possibilities are up there. You travel to 5-3 Culver. If you get by that, somehow you have Bowman or South Central, and maybe slide into the championship game.
You're going into that. I know Culver game it's going to be a very tough game, because I saw them play a little bit earlier in the year against West Central, and they beat West Central. And knowing what West Central did to us, I know that they'll be pretty solid. I know Coach Eric Culver, and I know they play a very physical style of football, and it's going to be a challenge for us. to go up there and take it. But like you said, you have the opportunity. If we can come up with some ways to get some stops or get some turnovers, and you just got to play every down, and we got as good a shot as they do. We're in the game, so we're going to play. And you're right, the draw was pretty good because the other two teams aren't having strong seasons either. So most of the good ones got down in the other bracket. Unfortunately for South Newton, got down there with North Judson and Pioneer, and so it's in Triton. So I mean, it is the draw was pretty good. I mean, other than I would have rather been at home, but at least we're going to head to Culver.
Our last question: how many healthy bodies you have for Friday's game now?
We will have 14 going in this Friday. Yes, we got 14.
Not much substitution.
Hopefully, nobody gets hurt overnight.
No, we don't want that to happen.
We had 14 when we left today, so
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll see
how it goes.
Scott, thanks for coming over.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Look forward to seeing you.
Scott
Friday
Rao,
night.
we'll see you Friday night.
Friday night. Yep,
And
I'll be there.
back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117 or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Bob Kurtz and Bill Kay back with you. Scotty Miller run the board tonight. Let's see. Bill, that's technology right
That's
there
the
in
way
front
to
of you.
do it, right?
You should be taking all your notes on that.
Got the iPad going here.
Brad Beavis has joined us with all the latest equipment. What do you got there in front of you, Brad?
Oh, this is actually an old iPad. It's one of those iPad minis, and we just use that for our stats. We don't do the old paper stats on the sideline more.
Wow.
I got a couple guys that do stats for us. And we
Stats as to go.
Right
as
in
you
there,
go.
stats as you go. And you just, when you go to do it, you just have little scroll down bars, and it kind of helps you out along the way.
So they chart every play? then?
Chart every play, yeah. Where the last play ended, it'll pop up, and then it'll ask if there's a penalty or if it's a run or if it's a pass, and it kind of walks you through it and puts stats in there, and it's not too bad. I mean, it does.
Man.
They do a pretty good job and allows us to send it out to you guys.
No
right
kidding.
after the game.
No kidding. That's
It's
that's
right in
amazing.
the mailbox, right about 10 minutes after I get done.
That's pretty awesome.
South Newton always on the cutting
They
edge.
are. They are. They
We
are.
try to be.
That's for
You
sure.
guys do a good job.
Well, Brad, you had a nice win last week. Was that on the road? It was
Yep,
on the road.
yep,
wasn't
up
it?
at South Central, yep.
Take us. What was the final score?
It was 43-0.
Take us through the game.
Got up there. South Central struggling a bit. They had a couple key injuries early in the season. They had a really good running back that hasn't played since about week 3, I think, week 4, something like that. So, they're just struggling. Like any of us, you lose a couple of your better kids, and you're going to struggle. So, we went out there and played a pretty pretty good game. We threw 2 interceptions, and that was just about the only complaints I had all night.
Man, that's saying something.
Yeah. So, I mean, our run game was good. We threw the ball fairly well. Our defense was active, and we were tackling, gang tackling.
What was the score by quarters there?
Score by – you're going to make me work today, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I don't have that part on here right now.
Okay.
But put me on the spot, Bob.
Oh, I thought you had everything right there at your
I do. I
fingertips.
don't know how to work it. I just want to send it to you guys.
Oh, okay.
First quarter, we threw an interception on our first drive. We actually had about a 8-minute drive to start off the game, which is very unusual for us.
That's almost a quarter.
It is. I looked
Three-fourths of a
I looked
quarter.
up there and was like, "Holy cow!" So it was a good 7+ minute drive, and
You
then we
must
threw
have
interception.
mixed in the run and the pass, huh?
Yeah, well, it rained right before. On the way up there, it rained a little bit, and heavy downpour right as we pulled in, and then kind of the rain backed off, so the field surface was pretty slick. And then you started, where it got cold, and it was just, kind of the atmosphere there. So, anyways, got the ball on the ground, threw an interception at the end of our first drive, got them on a 3-and-out, went back down and scored right after into the second quarter. So didn't score in the first quarter, scored 28 in the second. But we were right there on the doorstep going into the second quarter, scored, and the floodgates just kind of just kind of opened up for us. Like I said, they're struggling. So once that happens, we've been on that side of the equation before, and it just kind of starts rolling. But Evan had a good game, throwing for just under 100 yards. So we didn't have to throw the ball a lot, but he was very efficient outside of those two interceptions, and he just forced the ball in there. It's kind of one of those games where he was probably trying to force it because good things were happening. So I don't think he'll do that. Those 2 passes especially in a tighter game. Corbin Cruz had 137 yards on the game, and Evan had just under 100 for himself. So
Cruz is healthy then.
Cruz is healthy and back rolling. I mean, we knew he would be. You kind of don't know sometimes, but you knew he would be. Chase Stillbauer had another great night of receiving. Only 34 yards, but he catches a lot of our rocket screens and stuff like that. Lucas Boguski was our leader in receiving with 62 yards. So
a rocket screen. Now,
Rocket
that's another
screens.
new one. I learned so many terms from these.
and we all call them different too.
Yeah.
We all talk about the same play. All 6 of us here.
And he's the one that instituted whatever Willis called that.
Oh, the
extra
swinging
point.
gate. Yeah, swinging gate. Yeah.
The lone polecat or whatever.
Lonesome polecat.
Lonesome polecat.
Yep. Yeah. So the rocket screens to the outside guys. So what that happens, that's normally where a guy goes 1 to 2 steps forward and then comes back behind the line.
I see.
And kind of that slip screen. Some people call it a slip screen.
Then you hope you have blockers out in front of him.
Yeah. You hope you get a blocker out in front, so he pops inside for a second, then right back up the sideline.
Easy completion.
It should be.
Should be, yeah.
It should be. You would think, but we've dropped him before. But and then defensively, our whole defense played really well. I thought our front 3 was pivotal in getting into the backfield, causing a lot of havoc.
Who are those guys?
That'd be Hayden Baswick, Grant Schutte, and Edgardo Luna would be our starters, and then we throw a couple other guys in there. But Luke Patterson and David Van Ween are inside linebackers, and they help shut down that run as well. Then we got Caden Martin and Corbin Cruz on the outside, and they kind of have that dual role of they had to contain on the run, but then they got to help us out in the flats and the pass. So
sure,
those guys are always tough positions to fill, and they're tough guys to find. So we've had Corbin he's a senior, so 4 years, and he's worked that role for 3 straight years. And Caden Martin has come in as a sophomore now, and he's played it for 2 years. So we found 2 good guys. So next year we're going to have to figure out something because we're losing one of them. But those are 2 just special kids because those are not everybody can do those roles because you got to be able to be physical, but also athletic enough to play the pass game.
Now I want to know. Many times at halftime, we ask the coach what they're saying at halftime,
because we know that game's going to go away. Because one of the biggest things you have to learn as a coach is when you do get up, is how to manage that. Because you don't want to get anybody injured, but you also don't want to put younger kids in that aren't quite ready and maybe give up something or get somebody else hurt because they're not ready. So it's a lot. So that helps us out a lot because you basically only get about 4 to 5 total series in the second half if you start out that way. So it just helps out. So in halftime, we're just like, let's get into the running clock. Let's take care of business. We're going to start putting some of these other kids in that, have been scout team players all year and kind of getting beat up by the starters. Let's get them some playing time. And our kids bought into that. And one of the best things that came out of the halftime is Evan Krug broke for about a 30-some yard running. Could have scored a touchdown, went out in the one to give our senior Luke Patterson a chance to score.
How neat.
Luke's our blocking back, plays middle linebacker for us, does a lot of the grunt work, that physical kid, and he just doesn't get a lot of chances to touch the ball or score. So he got out of bounds. We talked about it, but Evan remembered. That's tough for a kid to do in the middle of a game. But he remembered he got out of bounds on the one. We gave it to Luke. He scored, and then we gave it to him again on the 2-point conversion. He scored again. So
you got the mercy rule in the third quarter.
Yeah, we got to the mercy rule in the third quarter after our first series.
Well, that's cool.
And then, like I said, from there we put our younger kids in, and they gave up a couple big pass plays. And South Central drove down, and then we had a great goal line stand with that group.
And good
also,
for them.
And also got to play a little bit of offense. So it was great to get all those kids in there, give them just a little more experience, get them on film. Their parents all follow us too, so the parents got to see their kids in the game, and that's just exciting all the way around. So that's one of those other benefits to that mercy rule is you kind of get some of those younger kids in a little bit more sooner probably in the game than normal.
What about – go ahead.
Coach, who is the coach at South Central now? Do you know?
I don't know. I can't remember his last name. His first name is Buzz. I don't remember his last name.
Is he new?
I think it's his second year, maybe.
Okay.
I think it's second year there. Yes, I believe. Yep. I don't know if he's been anywhere else, but I think it's only his second year there. I just don't remember his last name.
They've always had a good tradition of football.
And they're always a tough school. I know they came down 6 years ago and 7 years ago, I guess, and played us at home for the first round of the sectional game. And they came in with a pretty decent record. We had a really good group of kids and beat them by a couple touchdowns, I think. But there's always a solid program. Like I said, they're down a little bit because they lost a couple of their better players, and they're a little bit young. And they also had a tragedy in their school. They lost a student to an auto accident earlier in the week. So they had a lot of things going on.
It's always tough.
It's always tough for kids to adjust all those. And it was homecoming, so there was a lot of emotions, I'm sure. So there's a lot of things going on for them.
His name was Buzz Schaff.
Schaff, there you go.
60 year at the school.
Okay. We're all a little off, huh?
Your defense, not a good way to kind of close out the season. That was your first shutout.
Yeah, it was a great shutout. I think we held them to just
came close to that when we did them once.
Yep.
We got pretty close.
Last play of the game, I think.
Yeah.
I still remember that one. No, we held them just under 50 yards of total offense.
Wow.
Like I said, our defense is very aggressive. And it wasn't just, South Central lacking some things. I mean, our defense was forcing them to, scramble and forcing them to do things maybe they didn't want to do. So, I mean, it's like we played great, and we talked about doing that with our defense this week is we thought we could get some penetration. And once you get penetration, everything else opens up. And that's the key is getting those. But it's a hard job because those guys got to have a motor, and they got to go, and it's not fun sometimes. It's fun when you finally break loose, but it's not fun trying to work towards that sometimes in the game. So
can defense become contagious too, if you know what I mean?
It can, and you can. And that's one thing I've seen as we've gotten better. People's taken more pride in defense and got more excited about defense. 3 or 4 years ago when we were really struggling, a kid would make a tackle and everybody's like, okay. Now a kid makes a tackle and they're bumping, they're jumping up and chest bumping.
And coaches love to see that.
Yeah, I like to see chatter. If I can see kids talking and being excited, they're tuned into the game. They're focused. They're all those good things are happening. When they're silent on either side of the ball, typically good things don't happen. Even the teams that are very just stoic and just very methodical, there's still there's that body language communication. There's things going on. So as we've gotten better, we've started to see, especially on the defensive side, just that camaraderie and that communication and that's that having fun. Even in our games where we haven't played well and we've lost, they're still doing those things. So they're tuned in.
Coach, a little different situation as far as scheduling wise. You got a game tomorrow night.
Yeah, we got the Thursday night special, part of that flex schedule the Midwest Conference does. They just move us around where they need us for the
TV rights.
For the TV rights, viewership, So we had a situation where we couldn't find officials, didn't have any scheduled. So we scheduled our game for Saturday so we could get some officials. And we had that locked in pretty much the whole season. And then volleyball sectionals come out. And us and Frontier should meet in the championship game.
South Newton's hosting.
At South Newton,
yeah.
And we're playing at Frontier for football. So I think the administration just didn't want a bunch of students and, definitely for money reasons, didn't want fans going back and forth. So we moved to Thursday. So we'll play there, and that's their senior night, so that should be a good gate for them, and all of our fans can come and all their fans can come. And then
has that affected your practice schedule this week?
It actually hasn't been that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. And maybe some of that was last Friday, us playing pretty well. I felt much better. I think if we would have not played well, I might have tried to do maybe too much this week. But we went a little bit longer on Monday. We normally get done around 5. On Monday, we just watched film and condition a little bit, do maybe a little bit of walkthrough and weight room, where this week we watched a little bit more film and went outside and did a little bit longer walkthrough and actually did pro pads, which is helmet and shoulder pads, and did some inside drill work, did some more physical things. So we just went a little bit longer on Monday. And then yesterday was kind of a normal Tuesday. We go full pad, like that was kind of normal-ish. And then today we actually go hats when we win. So if our kids win the next Thursday, they get to wear hats, don't have to wear helmets. So that's kind of a
incentive.
a little incentive for them, but and they get excited about it, so they really love it. But so today was just a walkthrough day, so we were done about 4 o'clock with the rain. Rain moved in right after 4 o'clock, and right at the end of our practice, so we just kind of shut it down about 10 minutes early and go. So I wouldn't say it was that much different, as much as just more condensed. And then and I guess I like it more this week that we moved to Thursday. Is we typically go to breakfast on Friday morning, we go to school, depending on what's going on afterwards, but we get on the bus here because we're traveling, and we go to the game. If it's Saturday, that was going to be a completely different, routine on the game day.
Creature habits.
Right.
There he is.
And now it's on Thursday. Now, outside of my eating habit here, I got to eat Arnie's tonight and then good table in the morning. Okay, so I might be feel a little heavy tomorrow. Probably not going to get on the scale tomorrow morning. But, so I like that for our kids. It keeps them a little more used to the schedule, even though it's more condensed. So now Friday's going to be interesting at school. We're going to practice, so our kids need to show up, because if they don't show up for school, they can't practice, and then they get some extra conditioning. But that's going to be some interesting, because most of the time you don't play football and then come to school the next day. You kind of get that time to wake up and home and sleep in the bed and stuff. Now they're going to have to get up and go to school. So it's going to be interesting. I'm sure me and Coach Patterson, who works at the school, will probably be a little bit sore too. Coaches get a little older, and we get a little sore too after games.
Now, I don't even know if coaches do this anymore. Do you go out and watch other football teams play in person or not?
Oh, yeah. When you get the chance, that's
Will you do it Friday night?
I got to look at the schedule. It's been a busy week with it being that congested and stuff. I really haven't looked, and it's kind of one of those things. I was kind of waiting to see how I felt.
Right.
I'm going to see how I feel tomorrow after the game as well. Just like I said, I get a little wore out too. Things hurt.
Sure.
For us, but I'm going to look to find something. If we don't go somewhere, we'll probably look and see if anybody's streaming, and get together, maybe one or two of us, and just kind of watch some games there. But yeah, football coaches, we like to watch football. You probably go to most football coaches' households, and Saturday and Sunday, and there's probably football on.
Right here, you can watch South Newton or North Newton and Tri-County.
Yep. If I don't end up going nowhere, you'll probably be on one of the TVs. We have multiple TVs.
Oh man!
Talking about our technology, we have a pretty good setup. We have 4 TVs going at sometimes.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, we get it going on at South Newton. We got some good stuff.
Tell us about your game report tomorrow night.
Frontier's going to throw the ball a lot, which is something that we've struggled with at times. But we've spent last couple weeks working on that, knowing that we're going to have to deal with that again. They're going to go fast. So we talked to our kids, like, you can't be pouting if something goes bad, and you can't be celebrating too much if something goes good, because they're going to get right back up and run plays. And we haven't seen anybody that has done that, really. So that's just going to be a challenge in itself.
Challenge on the stat people, too, then.
Challenge on the stat people, yeah. I think on the outside, I feel like we have an advantage with some of our kids in the wide receiver and DB positions, but inside, I think it's up for grabs. They have a really good lineman that also plays linebacker, so we're going to have to deal with him on both sides of the ball in the box. So I think that's going to be something that they're going to try to take advantage of, I would assume. So we just got to go out, and if our offensive line plays really well and our defense plays aggressive like it should be, we should be all right. But if we don't, we're going to make things interesting. So, it's going to be kind of exciting just to see the tempo.
Coach, you come away with a win tomorrow night, 6 wins on the season. Could you ever imagine that coming in after, you've been struggling the reps, and it's really turned it around nicely.
Yeah, coming into the season, I thought we'd be right around 6.
Did you really? Yeah.
I think if you got 7, we'd be pretty ecstatic, or more, we'd be great. If you said 5, we'd probably a little bit of grumbling, but we'd be okay. So I think that's about where we thought we'd be, just based on the team we had. going with it. Now, what we really need to happen is we need to win in North and West Central needs to beat North White, and we can get into second place, a tie for second place with North White. So that's what we need to happen. But
that could happen.
Yeah, that could happen, and that's all conference nominations. Why I want that, not necessarily just the placing, but that gives me more chances to recognize some of our outstanding players when we go to all conference meeting here.
So your all conference is based on where you finish.
Based on where you finish, right? So you get so many nominations for each slot, and then you put your kids up, then the other coaches in the conference vote for that. So if I get more, and we might not get more kids on by finishing second, but I get at least more kids mentioned. I can say I nominated you. And I think as a player, if your coach feels that much about you that he can nominate you for all conference, and that should mean something. So right now we're right around 4 or 5. If we get that, we might get 6 or 7, just depending on the numbers. So.
And Coach, looking ahead past that, draw not exactly favorable to you guys for the section.
Are they good?
I heard that
has Judson been good?
I heard that they're a little bit tough to play against. Yeah. North Judson.
Hey, they're beatable.
7-1.
They lost last week.
That was a tough game.
That was a tough game. I watched that game. That was tough. Yeah, they're North Judson's been traditionally very solid. We've actually played them in my 7 years here. We played them 3 times. So I don't know. Those balls must be weighted or something down there in Indianapolis when they pull them out of the bingo thingy. But no, they're on the triple option or version of it, and they're hard-nosed kids. Their defense is fast. They got just good, solid kids. They're not, they got a couple big kids, but they're not overly impressive physically, size-wise. But you watch them play, and they play much, much bigger than what they, physically look. So, yeah, we're in for a challenge. We've already started talking about it a little bit as coaches. You always got to play a little bit ahead. When you go into the season, you start playing ahead of the season. What are you going to face offensively? What do we need to install in what order to meet those things? So, we've already talked about it a couple times as a coaching staff, and it's going to be a challenge for us. At least we're at home, I guess, and we're going to take care of Frontier hopefully Thursday, and then we're going to roll the dice next Friday and see what happens. I mean, as long as Evan Krug sets a state record with 9 touchdown passes, I think we'll be fine. I told him that all week because I think we're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. So get that in his mindset. Of course, he came back with me a little bit later and told me that the state record for interceptions was 6 by a player. So I don't know if his head's in the right spot or not. You never know what your draw is going to be. We knew he was going to have to do it. Play somebody tough eventually. It just stinks to draw that team. If we would win, hopefully we win tomorrow night. We get 6 wins, and we got to play the number 3 or 4 ranked team in the state. That's not a very good reward, Right. But that's what it is, and there's no reason to complain about it. That's why I keep trying to tell the kids it's what it is, and we're going to go give it our best shot and see what happens. And sometimes that's why you play sports, to see where you measure up. And hey, if we go and compete with them for 4 quarters and make it close, I think that says a lot about our program. If we can pull an upset. Yeah, that says a lot more.
And what'd you have, 5 wins last year?
5 wins last year, yeah.
Now you're trying for 6 this year?
Trying for 6 in the regular season.
You're pushing that bar up and up, aren't you?
Yep, it's good, yeah. And it's right now it's easy to kind of get our kids kind of motivated because we can keep telling them, well, nobody's done this in so many years.
Right.
When you come from a program the way we were, where we weren't very successful for a couple of years, and we're building back up. It's like, well, we haven't won 2 games in a row in X amount of years, or we haven't won 3 in a row. We haven't been 4-1, or haven't been. So now we're going. Hey, we haven't won 6 games since 2017, I think, or 16, 1 or 2. So it's like there's something else there. We haven't won a sectional game in X amount of years. So I'm sure next week we'll be talking about that. So right now that's an easy target for us, but it's just nice to see our kids get rewarded with the publicity and all that from the media and everything as we continuously get better. So we even got mentioned on the drawing show, so that was kind of nice. I think of my whole time here, I don't think I've ever got mentioned on that when they talked about the sectionals. I don't think I've ever got mentioned, and they actually talked about our team. So 7 years.
That's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Everyone's
like, why is that exciting? I'm like, because they've never talked about us before. The first time something happens, you got to embrace that.
Wherever you get publicity, that's the way to go, right?
That's right. Yep.
All right, Brad. Thank you very much. Good
Thank
luck
you guys.
tomorrow night.
Yep. Thank you.
Brad Beavis from the South Newton Rebels. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com. I'm Bob Kurtz, along with partner Bill Kay. Scotty Miller always doing a great job on the board back there. Out of the way. We hide Scotty in the corner there, but he does a great job. Friday night, Tri-County, Billy.
One of those something's got to give games. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
This is Jake West
yeah,
here on Tri-County.
So it's they ended up winning the game, and so that puts the record at 7-1. Like I told the kids after the game, I'm like, you don't just wake up and fall into 7-1. Like you have to be a good team to get there. So that was a good team we played, and you start factoring in the change of scenery. It's a 2-hour drive plus we hit traffic. And
you played Indiana Deaf. Right?
Indiana School of the Deaf, and. So they don't. Like I was kind of telling you guys about this. Like they don't have any sound there. Like they don't have a PA. Like they did the national anthem. There was no announcement that we're about to do the national anthem. So we're standing there on the sideline, like waiting to get going. And all of a sudden, everyone in the bleacher stands up, and we're looking around like, what are they doing? And the team's standing there. They're looking at the flag, and it's kind of that ... light bulb.
Yeah.
We see the ladies signing the national anthem. We're like, oh crap, helmet's off. Okay,
yeah.
And it's like, but there was no heads up for us or anything. Like we're trying to figure it out.
Before we start talking about the game, what was it like playing the School for the Deaf?
It was weird. Like, and I mean that in the nicest way possible because it was so quiet. You could hear everything that happened. So you can hear the kids communicate on the field clear as day. One of our managers was over. He was recording the game over in the press box on the other side of the field, and he said he could hear my defensive coordinator and I having a conversation on the field. And like we weren't yelling, like we weren't. We were talking. I was like, hey, what should you do about we're talking about an adjustment to make. And he's like, I can hear you clearly. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So we know we're talking. We're like, hey, maybe for an adjustment we should.
Yeah. Cover your mouth.
So it was really weird. Just sensation, I guess, because it's so quiet. It was odd.
They had a nice write-up on Indiana School for Deaf on Indiana, the Star, Indianapolis Star today, and they call them the best school for the deaf in the country.
Yeah. They play schools all over the country, and they routinely run the score upon them. And it's like I said, like you don't wake up in the morning and just accidentally find yourself at 7-1. Like you got to have something to you. So they have a few really, really good athletes on the perimeter. They quarterback is I think he's the best quarterback we've seen all year. Wow. And we've seen some pretty good ones.
That's saying something, yeah.
And it's like he threw a ball just as good as Traders Point's quarterback, and he was faster than Evan Krug, who's doing a phenomenal job at South Newton. And so the kid from Traders Point's leading the state in like passing yards or leading 1A or whatever it is, and Evan's having a phenomenal year in his first year as a starter. It's like, so you take those two guys, and this dude's doing the exact same thing, and just not really getting a lot of attention with it because he's in Indy where there's a lot more bigger stories. So dude's the truth.
And it's good to have your best player be the quarterback.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. There were times, and it was Johnny Manziel-esque because he would get the snap, the pocket would break down, he would just take off, and he as he's running around back and forth, he's got his eyes downfield. He's looking, and we'll have 4 guys chasing. We'll be getting ready to corner him in, and he'll just like stop and like throw it over there. And I'm like, where'd the running back come from? And he just like popped out and got loose, and he catches it, and it's a 30-yard gain. I'm like, oh my god! Like I thought we were about to get a sack here, and instead it's they're down at the 15-yard line.
And you said you got behind early. Tell us about the game.
So like I said, like we hit traffic. It was a 2-hour. It's like I'm not trying to make an excuse or anything, but like it's high school kids struggle with any kind of adversity, and that's the thing we're trying to get them to buy into is like embrace adversity. Like it makes you better. If you can experience adversity, it means you're still in the fight. Like you're still alive. Like go embrace that. If we hit traffic and I'm just smiling, I'm like, good. And they're like, why is that good? I'm like, because this is something else for you guys to learn to deal with. I'm like, it happens now. Let's say we go, so we had our sectional draw this week. We go to Tri-Central. So obviously we didn't know that at the time. But anyway, so we go to Tri-Central. What if we hit traffic on the way to Tri-Central? What if we show up a little bit later than we'd planned? Or like we've been through that already. Like you've experienced. Like now we can handle. I'm like, good. Everything that we can take on that's new, good. I love it. Bring it on. So I'm like, good. And they're just like, man, coach is crazy. I'm like, no, like I want that. So anyway, we get off the bus. It's a little cold. It is what it is. And I think that was really like the first like cold. I put that in quotes. Game of the year for us. And we should just start off slow. Like our starting center broke his helmet somehow coming onto the field. I don't know how. Whatever. So we put the backup in. First snap goes over the quarterback's head. I'm like, oh god. And as soon as we pick up the ball, the starting center's like, oh, my almost fixed again. I'm like, oh, of course it is. Of course it is. So he goes back in, so we punt, and I think they go right down the field and score. Like, they've got athletes, they go right down. It took us about a quarter and a half, so we'd spotted them 24 points. We're down 24-0, and we finally marched down the field, and we score a touchdown, okay? We go into the half down 24-7. They returned a kick for a touchdown after a long touchdown. So we score in the second half to go 24-14. And so we kick it off, and we had a few kids on kickoff who were out with like malinair bumps and bruises. They're like they were getting assessed by the athletic trainer, so they weren't available. And we have a few more kids who are out already from previous games. So I'm looking on the sideline for a skill guy to plug in on kickoff. And one of my offensive linemen, Tyson Jordan, who I love him to death, God bless his soul, should not be a safety on kickoff. he's like, I'll do it. I'm like, all right, Tyson, get in there. He goes in there, and this dude just runs right by him. And I see Tyson running as hard as he can, and I was like, A for effort. Yeah. But the thing I tell kids, I'm like, hey, it's if we ask you to do a job, and you haven't practiced it, if it goes wrong, it's on us. I'm like, so that's not your fault. So thank you for trying. I appreciate it. So we finally get like one of the guys comes back, trainer's like, yeah, he's good to go. We're like, awesome. I'm like, Tyson, you're on a kickoff. He goes, he literally walks by. He's like, looking. We spend a lot of our time in 20 personnel. So we have 2 running backs, a quarterback, and then 3 receivers. So they're going press man coverage with 8 dudes in the box. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was cold, I don't know if it was the jitters. Well, we couldn't throw the ball, save our life. It is what it is. So I was like, well, we better win the ball or win the game running the ball. So that's what we did. And just time and time again, it was just on a loop. We're going to run up the middle. We're going to run off tackle. We're going to like pull a guy, like just on a loop. And we marched right down the field and did what we wanted. I saw dudes getting great push. I saw dudes finishing blocks with authority. And I was like, nice, this is what I've been waiting for.
Does that give your team confidence now after that?
And that's we were talking about, I feel like, getting that mean streak, and not necessarily mean to where you're playing dirty, but like I played line. So when there's a dude across from me, that dude has already decided that he wants to beat me in some way. Either he wants to get by me, either he wants to hold me up, whatever the case is. So if he's already decided that this is a fight for him, like I need to basically match that intensity. I need to move him against his will somewhere else. And there's nothing that makes me happier than doing that to another person. Like if I'm blocking you and I know that you want this gap, I'm gonna take you to that like out of bounds. I'm gonna throw you like out there like I'm gonna beat you and I'm gonna do it again all night. And get them to buy into that mentality has been a slow process. They're slowly starting to get there.
How are they playing? Are they becoming a cohesive team?
Yeah. That's so I've coached teams that hate each other. I've coached teams that love each other. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to which group is which, but this group seems to love each other. They thrive. They're a bunch of idiots. I say that in the most loving way possible. They crack me up. They say the dumbest things sometimes, but it's like they're just kids having fun.
Now let's talk about playing. Talk more about the game of playing a team like School for Deaf. But were there whistles, or how did the plays stop?
Well, there were whistles, and not all the officials did a good job of signaling, like, hey, like this. So I think the kids do a good job with being somewhat cognizant of it. And now, obviously, there are some times where they don't see it, so they continue to block. And I thought our kids did a good job of not really retaliating in that scenario, because understanding, like,
You understood that.
yeah, like he might continue blocking me. And it's not because he's trying to be a dirty player. It's because he straight up does not know that the play's over yet.
Right.
We had a few times where tempers flared, and then they were just like, oh, okay, like that's why it's okay. So I thought we did a good job managing both ourselves and the moment and the intensity of it. And no, like their kids got after us. Like that's you don't not get after people. That's the terrible sense. You don't not get after people, and like I said, end up 7-1. So they play. They're a scrappy group. They've got some undersized kids, and they just like little torpedoes at our feet, knocking kids off, and they throw their helmet at the ball trying to get fumbles.
Now, you said this is just a one-year deal, though, right?
We're supposed to be on for 2 years. I don't know if I'm breaking any confidentiality here, but I talked to their coach after the game, and he said they're dropping to 8-man most likely. So I guess it's just 1 year.
Always hard to find a school to play.
It is. That article that I mentioned earlier said that they are the smallest school enrollment-wise in the state of Indiana, bar none.
Under 100, right?
Under 100.
Man.
91
For their
students.
total school?
Yeah.
Total school.
And
yeah.
hey, of the 91 they got some good ones.
All right, let's go to this week. What was the focus on practice? And tell us who you're playing. Well, yeah, we know who you're playing. You're playing North Newton because we're doing the game on 3KG. But another competitive, winnable game, I'm sure you think.
So I looked at, I was curious. So on John Harrell, he tracks the combined opponents record of the teams you've played.
Right.
Do you guys know the combined record of the teams we played this year without looking? Don't cheat it. Don't cheat. Do you know what it is?
No.
It's 39-23, and that includes winless Attica. So if you take Attica out of there, it drops it to 39-15.
So you're saying you played a pretty competitive schedule.
So if you look at seven weeks, like a 7 weeks worth of teams, that the average record is like 5.6 and 2.2. So bare minimum, you're playing teams that are 5 and 2 or better over a 7-week stretch. Like that's not bad. So it's hard for the kids to see that the level of play has increased around the conference, because they just see the final score. They don't realize that, hey, every team that we play every week is like good this year. Like they're good. So it's not necessarily that we're bad. We're just in a rebuilding year. Like this is year one for year zero, technically is what I affectionately call it. And we're playing teams that are winning 5, 6, 7 games. Like that's a hard ask.
Sure.
So, but the fact that
except for this week.
Except for this week. This week, I know this. And okay, South Newton was big for me because that's where I graduated from. I grew up right down the road from North Newton. So if you're going down,
you say you went to North Newton schools, right?
I went to North Newton my freshman year, and then we transferred to South Newton.
I see.
Yeah, my mom got a job in Kentland, and it was easier for me just to get a ride with her to work every morning. So she would drop me off there. But no, I grew up 5 minutes from the school. I could see the lights from the football field from my backyard.
So this means something to you.
This means something to me too. Yeah, it's means something. And obviously being from a South Newton graduate, like anytime you can beat North Newton makes you happy. anytime at all. So
North Newton played a lot better against North White, wasn't
North
it?
White. They played. Like, I watched
28-18.
Yeah, that was a good game. It was back and forth. It was competitive. They ran a lot of trick plays. They had a chance to win at the end.
This could be a good game.
I think it'll be a really good game. I'm excited.
What do you know about Northern? They got 14 guys out.
They got 14 girls too?
Well, they probably do. They don't play football though.
No, like they live and die with number 5 and number 35. Like those are their workhorses, and they do a good job. I don't remember which one is which. One of them is Kolovos. How we say his name, and the other is Scatella. Which I think I went to school with Scatella's sister. So like I saw him. I was like, I know. Yeah. But anyways, they work hard. They play hard. And you see teams that when they're winless or they don't win a lot of games, you see them like break pretty easily. We're down. Oh, okay. Like, woe is me. Nope. They fight. They scrap, claw, everything right to the very end. So I'll give them plenty of props for that. You can't take that for granted.
What's going to be the keys for Tri-County to win Friday night?
If we can score more points than them and keep them from scoring more points than us. If we can do that, I like our chances.
Other than that,
I think honestly, whoever can establish the line of scrimmage better, because they have some bigger bodies on the line than I think what we do. I haven't looked at max preps for the average weight or anything like that, but just looking at film, they look like they have bigger bodies on the line than we do. So if we can do a good job with getting a push up front and also keeping them from getting a push on defense, and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, I think that's going to go a long way, because both teams want to run the ball. We're not going to hide it. We want to run it. They want to run it. Whoever does it better is probably going to win.
Running clock, then. There, keep it running.
Keep her going.
Keep going, yeah.
That's we played one game this year that I don't even think went to. I I don't think it went to a running clock. And it was funny, like, we're done getting on the bus. I'm looking at scores around the state, and there's other games that are like halftime. I'm like, wait, you're doing halftime.
Well, we got the sectional thing there.
Oh, the sectional draw for Tri-County. You are in sectional 43 with West Central, of course. North White. You are in the bottom part of that sectional at Tri-Central. So
Where is Tri-Central?
Over by Kokomo, I think, is what I was told. I haven't looked at a map.
Okay.
they are 2-6 after 8 weeks. You're 1-7, so it should be a competitive ball game.
It should be, and it's they.
Have you started preparing for them yet or not?
No, I'm big on the goal is to be 1-0 every week. And obviously, like I said,
worry about them next week.
Worry about them next week. Like their coach asked me, he's like, do you want our film? Do you want this? And I was like, I'm good for right now. I'll get it. I'll get that from you on Saturday or Friday night if you feel like I don't care. But no, like I'm a big believer in it's you focus on your job at hand. Is this something we talked about today at practice? It was raining, it was windy. I thought it was our first. I was really excited about this drive over. I was in a really good mood. So we haven't had a rainy practice all year, which is awesome, right? It hasn't rained all year. Today it was rainy and windy. It's 20-mile-an-hour winds. It's pouring rain, and it's offense day, and we haven't had a single day like that. We haven't practiced snapping the ball when it's wet. Nothing.
So you practice in the rain?
Practice in the rain. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, please let this be a good day. Please let this be a good day.
Well, you linemen like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Wet, muddy
we do.
field.
We like it. That's why I call them the piglets. They like rolling around in the mud. But no, and it's we didn't have a bad snap. We had one that was a little low, and that's it. We had one like that. And again, for a center who doesn't usually play center, snapping a wet football. We did a good job rotating balls in, so that way we were trying to get a dry-ish one. We were throwing the ball around. We were catching it, which is like that's hot and cold with us anyway.
You like to do that on a dry night,
yeah,
right?
I'm like, let's go. And I told him, I was like, if we can't run our stuff when it's rainy, how can we guarantee we'll be able to run it in a game? It's like I don't care that it's 20-mile-an-hour winds. If we can't run our stuff in this, then we have no business running it in general. So we're throwing the ball around. We're getting completions. We're making the right reads. We're running the ball. We're run blocking phenomenally. So it was a good day. I was happy with it.
How big for your program would a couple wins here towards the end of the year be?
I think it's huge because you look at so I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. Usually I'm pretty good about that. But like our seniors have won like 5 total games in their career, and that's you want to turn that around. You want to give kids where they're graduating as like this is the winningest class in school history or whatever. Like you want to give them that. And seeing for those freshmen and sophomores, putting a few notches in that win column, it does so much for them because all of a sudden the expectation shifts from, we're supposed to lose to, no, we're supposed to win. I saw a quote from Bobby Bowden over the weekend that said, first you lose by a lot, then you lose by a little, then you win by a little, then you win by a lot. Well, we're right there between lose by a little and win by a little. We're somewhere in there. So it's trying to push that over the hump. If we can see a few more notches in the win column, okay, let's say, not like whatever, knock on wood. Let's say we win this game, we win versus Tri-Central, and let's say we lose versus Carroll, whatever. Okay, we end the year with 3 wins. Well, that's more wins in 1 year than they've had in the last 2 years combined. Okay, like that's a solid foundation. Okay, we have a great group of kids graduating. We have a pretty small senior class coming in next year. But all those sophomores that started that won 3 games this year, well, now they're juniors. Okay, well they're coming back, so let's say we have a better year next year. Okay, well now all of a sudden we've gone from 3 wins to 6, let's say. Okay, well now they've won 9 games. Like they've had a taste with that. They know what it takes. Now they're seniors and they're ready for more. So it's every little win that you can start stacking up, no matter how big or small. It absolutely helps.
You've got to look no further than South Newton.
Mm-hmm.
They were losing for the longest time. Mm-hmm. Last year they won 5 games. This year they've had 5 wins, so it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta.
And I was a big believer in that. My sophomore year was a year at South Newton where we won 1 game, and the one game we won was the last game of the regular season versus Boone Grove. They drove down the field and we had to get a stop on 1st and goal, because they had enough time for 4 plays. We had to get a stop on 1st and goal from like the 5-yard line. And we've never won a game. We wanted it badly, but we'd never won a game. So we had to figure out in that moment how to exist and how to win and how to execute in that moment. And so, so we figured that out. We ended up winning the game there. We go into the next week, we play Pioneer. We get boat raced, which it was Pioneer in around 2010, so that was pretty much everyone but CC.
Yeah.
And we come into that next year, so all those kids that we had out there that had experienced playing in that moment, well, we ran away with everything. We didn't care who we lined up against. It was a boat race for us. Our only 2 losses that year were to Pioneer and CC. So learning how to exist in those moments.
A boat race, he says.
A boat race, yeah. You ever heard that?
No.
Just flying by people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, so it's learning to exist in those moments because it's like, okay, so a team wins 56-0 every week. Sure, the JV comes and they play every fourth quarter. Okay, that's great. That's playing time. You're right. But is there any pressure up 56-0? Like if I miss my block and the quarterback gets sacked, well, okay, so now instead of it being 1st and 10, now it's 2nd and 15, and we're still up by 56. Like that's not really stressful. Same thing if the score's reversed, you're down 56-0. Like okay, I got beat on my block, but it's not like we're magically going to be winning if I get this block. Playing in a 7-0 game, playing in a 30-22 game, there's pressure. There's inherent pressure. I have to get this block. Like I have to. And if you can learn to exist in that moment and perform, then when it comes later down the road, you're like, I've done this before. This is easy.
So this means, to me, what you're saying is Friday should be competitive. It should help you into the postseason.
Yep, it should. Like that's the hope. As long as we're playing close games, regardless of if we're on the right side or wrong side of it, it should help. It should help. And let's say we beat Tri Central, just not trying to look ahead. If we beat Tri Central, there's a chance we play either one of those teams we play the week after. They both beat us. What better way than to show how much we've improved by playing them and either winning or playing a much closer game? Like it doesn't really matter which way. It's like that's the improvement we're trying to see.
All right, Jake. We'll see you Friday night. All right.
Yeah, see you. Hopefully you better look this time.
All right.
Bring some good luck with me.
Jake West, Tri-County Cavalier coach. We'll have more. The Coach's Cage on 3KG, thecage.com right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Back on the Coach's Cage, Bob Kurtz, Bill Kay, and Scotty Miller with you here. Hope you're enjoying a Wednesday night. We really appreciate Arnie's opening the doors and feeding the coaches and getting drinks as well. Couldn't do it without him, that's for sure. Chris Meeks, Rensselaer Central football coach, has joined us now. Chris, nice win against Northwestern last week. Give us a score and tell us about it.
Yeah, we won at home on senior night 41-3, and I thought we played very, very well. Offensively, I thought we did a nice job of moving the ball up and down the field with our different weapons. We had 24 first downs, which is great.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, so we kept the chains moving. We had 438 yards total offense, and I was very pleased. And then defensively, I thought we played very well. They had what a lot of people thought was the best running back in the conference. His last name's Cardwell. He all conference last year, 1,000-some yard rusher. Preseason, all state. Anyway, he had a terrific season coming in, and he was right at 1,000 yards coming into that game. And lo and behold, second play of the game, he rushes for 50-plus yards. Corbin Matthew does a nice job of tackling him down by the 10-yard line. Our defense holds. They end up kicking a field goal, so we hold them to 3 points. But, then after that, we pretty much shut the kid down. He had less than 100 yards rushing for the night. Our defense really locked in. One of the things that we struggle with is simulating the other team's offense. So the last 2 games, both teams, Benton Central and Northwestern, moved the ball down the field. BC scored a touchdown. We held Northwestern to a field goal. But, once our defense got settled in, I thought we played lights out and really played very well defensively.
When there's a big-time running back, does the defense key on him more during the game or no?
Well, you got to be careful because this team also throws the football a lot too. So play action comes into play there. But the defense sees, and Coach Zacher and the defensive coaches sees that you got a playmaker, whether it's a quarterback or a running back, and they take great pride in seeing if they can shut the kid down. But also too, you can't put all your marbles or put everything in just stopping that kid because there's other phases of the game you got to stop as well. Play different positions for us. And again, we haven't had him that long.
Sure.
We've had him less than a season. So he's a kid that can carry the ball for us. We need some weapons at tight end, and he's a kid that can go in there. He catches the ball very well. He's got good speed. He's learning some different route concepts that we're working on as far as trying to get him the ball. So I thought Northwestern did a nice job of defending the pass, but they really struggled against the run. So in that particular game, we ran the ball a lot. The game before, we threw the ball to them several times. So,
don't you find that with most high school teams where they're good at stopping one thing, but give you, like you just said, they may be good in one area, but kind of lacking in another area?
Yeah, and actually Scott Rao and I were just talking about that, coach from North Newton. We were talking about how, sometimes you got to make a decision. We're going to take away the run or we're going to take away the pass. But, it might be tough to take away all phases where a team's good at. So that does happen.
What's the focus in practice this week, Ben?
Just keep getting better. We play a very good team in Lewis Cass. They're physical. They're a very confident group. They've been ranked in the top 10 in 2A most of the year. Just like us, they play in the Hoosier Conference. So
explain what this last week is in case people don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's the Hoosier Conference, basically playoffs. So it's a crossover. So there's 5 teams in the West Division where we are with Benton Central, Twin Lakes, Lafayette Central Catholic, West Lafayette, us. And then you've got the East Division with Hamilton Heights, Tipton, Northwestern, Lewis Cass, and whoever. All right, and then
Hamilton Heights.
Yeah, Hamilton Heights. So then, so that you'll play the teams within your division. So we finished 3rd in our division, and we'll play the team that finished 3rd in the East, and that is Lewis Cass. And this year, the West goes to the East, so we'll be traveling over to Lewis Cass.
So you'll be playing for 3rd place?
We'll be playing for, not 3rd place, but we're playing for 5th and 6th.
5th and 6th,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So give us the scouting reports on Lewis Cass.
Yeah, they're strong, they're big, they're physical. They got a lot of height. They got some tall kids. So their receivers could be a mismatch. I mean, we got to make sure we're in good position. They run the ball. They run a wing tee. They run it very well. The coach is Coach Mannering, who played there, played some college football at, I believe, DePaul, and came back. He's got dad coaching with him, longtime head coach there, and then coached at Twin Lakes for a while, Scott Mannering. So they're well coached. They play hard. They play fast. They play downhill. And, I think they mirror us, to be honest with you. They'll mix some play action pass in. They're fundamentally sound and should be a heck of a ball game.
Good lead into the tournament then,
I think it's a great game going into the tournament, absolutely. one of the things that we've talked about before is you could go out and beat a team 68-0 or overschedule and get beat 68-0, and it doesn't do you a whole lot of good. This will be a good competitive game where we have to be playing our best, clicking on all cylinders, and have an opportunity to win against a very good opponent going springboarding into the tournament. If we win this game, it's a great win over a Hoosier Conference opponent, puts us in 5th place in the conference out of 10, so we finish in the top half. And it gives us a 3-game winning streak going into the tournament.
You probably needed one of those 48-minute efforts again.
Absolutely. We do. And we preach it, we teach it, and I think we're getting there. We saw glimpses of it the first several games. And, I think the last 2 games we've really put some things together. I think the confidence is growing. And, I think one thing that really has to happen is we got to, the speed of the game's got to be quick. We got to hit the hole quick. Pad level's got to be low. But it's all fundamental things, and we've worked hard on fundamentals.
Coach, we look at the Class 3A sectional 25 bracket, and there are 3 teams undefeated, 8-0, going into the last week of regular season. You happen to be lucky enough to draw one of them, Hanover Central. The good part is at your place, and as that looms, in the background, how much attention do you give to that game starting now, or how much do you just wait until after Friday's done?
I honestly didn't know the draw. Is that who we play? Is that who we play? Hanover Central? You know what? It was fun last Sunday. Sitting there, all of us coaches eating, everybody made something, brought something in, and then we get the draw. And it's just exciting. So, we talk about it at that time as coaches. We talk about different scenarios, take a peek at them that Sunday. But then it's back to Lewis Cass. So all of our focus has been on Lewis Cass this week. Next week we'll be focused on them. But, all focus. So we're doing nothing to prepare for them. Unlike years ago where you had to go and trade film and reach out to different people to get film and stuff behind the backs of different people. And so you don't do that anymore. They want all our films, we'll give them, cause they're all out there. So we'll do like we've done. We're going to prepare for Lewis Cass. We'll play Friday night. We'll enjoy, hopefully, the win Saturday. And then Sunday we're getting ready for our next game, which would be Hanover Central.
I peeked into the Herald website there, and Hanover just ridiculous as far as point differential. They're scoring. They're running up anywhere from 40 to 60 points against everybody and giving up almost nothing.
How did they do against West Lafayette?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that on
Lafayette Central Catholic. Hamilton Heights. That's my point. I mean, they play their schedule, we play our schedule, so it'll make for a unique matchup. And great thing about Indiana football, let's throw those records out. Let's mix it up for 48 minutes, see what happens. And the Bombers will be ready when it's time. So we cherish an opportunity to play an undefeated team.
Before we let you go, younger Bombers still playing, some of them?
We are. Middle school plays tomorrow night against Lafayette Central Catholic. They had 2 very good wins down at Benton Central. JV had a nice win. We were supposed to play Northwestern, and they ended up not being able to play. So Frontier was gracious enough to schedule us. So we played Frontier and won that game, I believe, 50 to 20, something like that. And then our flag footballers, they play their last Sunday games this coming Sunday. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend, so that'll be fun. And they're going to be playing double headers, so 2 games for each grade level that day. So, yeah, youth football is going great. And
how important is youth football to the Bomber varsity program?
I think it's huge. I mean, getting the kids acclimated to playing football. We've taken the philosophy, unlike some communities, we've taken the philosophy our young kids are going to start off with flag football. Others do the Pop Warner thing. That's fine. And then we're going to get them into tackle football starting 6th grade. And then they'll play a little bit on our 7th grade team. Then we got our 7th and 8th grade teams. So we feel like we've got a pretty good process in terms of introducing kids to tackle football and developing them. But, our youth football is important. The kids get to know me and our coaches and our players. And I think our players and coaches do a great job of ownership of the youth program. So I think it's very important. Not only football, but all our sports.
Chris, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Good luck Friday night, and we'll talk to you next week, all right?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Chris Meeks from the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Back with more of the Coach's Cage right after this.
Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
High-quality personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117 or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Back on the Coach's Cage. Continuing our Midwest swing of coaches. Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, who's on top of the heap of the Midwest Conference right now with 1 week to go. Mark, that's a pretty good position to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot better than alternatives out there. But yeah, we've got 1 week left there of hopefully we can get one more good week in there of doing what we've been doing all year, and we can come back with a sole conference championship.
Tell us about last week's game. What was the score, and take us through it.
Yeah, we played Frontier at home. It was also homecoming for us on Friday. We both went into the game at 3-0 in the conference, and we were able to take care of business. It ended up being a 46-6 game.
Did that surprise you?
It did. Frontier had played a lot of close games throughout the year, and we figured they were going to be up for the game with them being 3-0 in the conference, and we were 3-0, so we were expecting a really tight game. First quarter, we got the ball and we started our drive, and it's I think the first time all year we've actually started with the football. Every other game has been we've kicked off and played defense first, so it was a little bit different for us. But we went downfield. The first few plays were big plays. We were just running our offense, getting downfield. We got into the red zone, and all of a sudden we stalled out and didn't do anything. We ended up on fourth down. We ended up getting called for an intentional grounding because we were running around in the back end of it, and it ended up being a pretty big loss on it. So I think Frontier ended up getting the ball somewhere around like their 45, like their 45 or close to the 50. So it was a pretty big loss. But defensively, we came out and we were able to shut them down, and they punted. Our second drive, we go down the field, and again we get nothing out of it. So we punt them back away, and they go through or turn it over real quickly. They had I believe it was a fumble is what they had, but then we got the ball back again and into the second quarter. So end of the first quarter, it's 0-0.
Wow.
So I was expecting it to be still a tight game, and that's what it was. And then into the second quarter, we had the ball inside the 5, and we didn't score. They took over, and we kept them pinned down in there. I think at one point they were at the 1 or 2 yard line and ended up punting it from that position, and then so we got good field position. We went down the field. We scored. Then we made them go 3 and out again, and then we went down and scored again. And then so we had Connor Marlatt scored the first one. Jacob Plarski scored the second one. And then on the next possession for Frontier, Austin Bolin stepped in front of the pass and returned it 48 yards for a touchdown. So now we're up 24-0 really quickly.
That's always a bonus, isn't it, when defense scores?
Yeah, and then we were able to stop them again on defense, and we got in our fourth touchdown of the third quarter, so we're up, or the second quarter, and we're up 32-0. It was just all of a sudden a quick, like it was 0-0, and all of a sudden it's 32-0. Yeah, it was quick. So I was like, well, this makes it a lot more relaxing and comfortable now. And our defense was playing really good, continued to play really well. We had some guys that stepped up this week and had to be put in positions that they normally aren't in, but they stepped up and played really well. Spencer Lehman took on a bigger role in offense. Defensively, the same thing. We had some guys that we had to put in some different positions than what they've done before, or they just had to play more than what they typically have done. And one of those was Johnny Rao. We put him at one of our inside backer positions and basically just told him, go find the football. Wherever it goes, just go get it.
Let's go tackle somebody, right?
And he did a great job putting pressure on their quarterbacks with they did a lot of passing, and he was able to get a lot of pressure on them. He ended up having 6 quarterback hurries on the night and then also 2.5 sacks. So he played a great game, which caused some of their passes to be off target, which allowed our guys to get hands on the ball and knock it down and deflect passes. And then overall in the night, we had 6 total sacks on the night. We had 10.5, I think, tackles for loss. So defensively, our defensive line was playing really well with Buzz Beiswinger, Blake Hughes, Christian Hughes, Joe Jackson, Riley Jackson, Zach Gilger. They were all in the mix doing different things for us up there. It was overall just a really good defensive effort. Other than when they snapped the ball with 8 seconds to go in the first half, and we gave up a touchdown on a 60-yard pass. So that was our one we could get on them. You always tell me every week I've got something I can get on them about.
Almost made it.
That was the one that we could get on them about. So ended up being 32-6 there as we went into half, and then we added a score there in the third quarter, and then another one in the fourth quarter, and ended up winning 46-6.
Wow, that's pretty good. That sets up a big week for Friday night, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And as I've said pretty much the last 3 weeks here, we've told our kids every week's getting bigger. And we got another big one when we go to North White this week.
Come on, say it. You haven't accomplished any of your goals yet.
It's right there. It's still not completely done. I mean, we do have currently there's a share of the conference, and we talked to our kids about it. That right now we have a share guaranteed for us, but do you want to share it with anybody? And they all said we don't. So we got to make sure we go out on Friday because North White's going to be a big night for them. It's their senior night.
They're 5-2.
They're 5-2. They're
7-1.
3-1 in conference, so they're right there too. So that they know they have to win if they want to share the conference. So it's going to be a big night, and hopefully we can have another good night.
When's the last time West Central won a Midwest Conference in football?
1998.
Wow.
1998. You know that year right off the bat.
Yeah, because I walk through the gym every day and I see that banner up there that says 1998
it's
out
about
there.
time
it's the last one. And
22 goes up there then.
Yeah. That's what we've talked to the kids about all year is, we've got a chance where we could do some things and be special.
Give us a scouting report on North White.
They've got some good athletes.
Quaysbarth
and C.J. Hunt are their two big guys on offense, and they're tough. They run the ball really well. There's a lot of times on film you'll just see like they just run into the pile, and you think, all right, well the play's done. Then all of a sudden like they shoot off one side of it or somehow get through the middle of it, and they're off running for 30, 40 yards or more. And it's so our kids, we've been on them all week about you're going to have to wrap up. Like they aren't going to go down easily. They're just going to like say, oh, you guys are 7-1 and be afraid of us. Like there's no one's afraid of us right now. Like
right.
we got to go out and we got to play football.
Sure.
So North White, we know they're going to be physical. They're going to be tough. Last time we beat them was in 18, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
We've had some close games in the last few years with them. In there, we lost one in overtime 2 years ago. Last time we were down there, last year's game was a 2-score game, 14-0 that they won. So we've had some close ones here in the last couple of years. So we got to make sure that we go down there and we're ready to play because they're going to be physical.
What did you do in practice this week?
Tried to stay dry.
Hard today, wasn't it?
It didn't work well either of the days. But we went over everything we need to go over. We covered it, talked with kids about what they're going to try to do, try to show them everything we could about different things that they've done, and then just try to get better every day. And that's what we've tried to do all year is just get better every day at what we're doing.
All right. Sectional 43. Who drew that up? You?
No.
You
No.
couldn't have picked a better slot for West Central, other than you're on the road for the worst.
Yeah, we are
first
on the road,
week.
but
other than that,
yeah, it sets it up that we play Caston week 1, so we are familiar with them since we do play them every year week 1.
Caston's still winless at 0-8.
Yes, they are, but they play in a tough conference. They've got guys that first game of the year. I think we held them to negative rushing yards, but we gave up, I think, 116 passing, something like that. So they've got the ability to move the ball through the air. In the last few games, they've had some leads on people and just let it slip away. For example, they were right there with North White for a while, and then ended up getting beat. I think it was finally it was 33-16 in that one. I think it was just last week is when they played Winnemac, and they were up 12-0 in that game before they ended up losing 33-12. And from what the casting coach was telling me, they had a chance to either, I think it was tie it or take a lead at some point in the fourth quarter, and they ended up having a snap that went over the quarterback's head that Winnemac picked up and scored. So it was a huge momentum change there. So, I mean, they're a team that they're
can't
improving.
overlook them. Then.
Yeah, can't overlook them. It's if you look at how it's set up, like there's a possibility that we could play two teams we've already played this year. And second, we're definitely playing one. And if things go right, we might play a second one that we've already played this year.
Who's that?
It could be Frontier potentially. So it's always tough to beat a team twice in the same year, especially when there's some close. Like if we do get to the second round, if we're lucky enough to face Frontier again, like there's only 2 weeks ago or last week. By that point, only 2 weeks that we played them. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
But it's nice to have the other odds-on favorite in this sectional and the other side of the bracket.
Yes, I mean there are a couple, I think, teams throughout the state that they end up having two of the main people in some of those sectionals that play in first round. We were lucky to avoid that, but yeah, it's a nice draw for us. It's one that gives us an opportunity, that pretty good opportunity to make some noise in the sectional. But again, it comes back to we can't overlook anybody. I mean, at that point in the year, you take it easy and it's over.
Does that put pressure on your guys a little bit?
I hope not. It's just we got to go play football. We got to go do what we were capable of, and that's what we've told our kids all year is just go do what we're capable of doing. Don't worry about doing other things. Just do what we're capable of doing. We'll be fine.
With the way the season is reached now, you've only lost one game. Do you look back on that game and say, man, I'd like to play that game again?
Well, I think so. I think our kids
Culver, you lost
Culver. We lost 18-0 in that one. We had 6 turnovers in that one. We had, I think, 12 penalties in it. I think our kids would like to play it again. I think they would. There's just something about that game that we get some mental block in. I don't know why, but last few years we've had a mental block in that one, and so I think afterwards they look at the film and we go over things. They're like, yeah, we know we should have done these, and I'm like, well.
So you're pretty equal with them, you would say.
I don't know. Like I think we can compete with them. I don't
Right.
think there's any reason why we shouldn't be able to.
Okay. Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. So anyway, big game Friday night. First time since 1998 you're playing for a championship. Then getting bigger. Do you like that right at the end of the year and then lead into the tournament?
It makes it more exciting. Like some of the other coaches and I were talking here off the air, that all the conference schools kind of rearranged their schedule this year, the first year doing it, because previously we had our conference games spread out through the entire year, so there wasn't a whole lot of, I guess, build up to it. But pretty much everybody now is like the last 5 games we're playing 4 of them are conference, so it makes it a little more interesting, a little more entertaining, and we've got a lot of possibilities, a lot of different scenarios can play out this Friday, and actually starting tomorrow with the Frontier South Newton game, to where we could have it just be in an order of 1 through 6, or there could end up being 3 on a 3-way tie for first, or there could be a 3-way tie for second. There's just all sorts of different possibilities that are going on right now. Yeah, and so it makes it interesting. I guess for fans it's more interesting perhaps, but I know, like my mom, when she comes to the game, she always says, those close ones are more interesting, but I always like it more when you guys have bigger leads because then I don't have to worry. I'm like, me too.
Me too, that's right.
But I think it's part of if you like competition. I mean, this is the perfect setup.
How has the West Central crowds been? Have they embraced you guys as this winning season?
Yeah, they've been very very happy to be around us. They supported us. They've come out to the games, the away games, home games. They've been there. They've been loud, supportive, cheering us on. That when we're at Winamac, our crowds, our stands on our side were packed, and there's people standing along the fences, and you could hear like the cheers, like they was loud. So it was great atmosphere there. Our home games have been really nice. This last game against Frontier, we had it was either fireworks or a cannon being shot off on scores. That was fun. That was neat. But yeah, they've done a great job supporting us and getting involved with our season so far. We've got one of our classes in the school that just started this year is like a graphic design class, and they printed up some Trojan Tomahawk Championship stickers for us that we could give to the kids. And the town CD Embroidery, they've got T-shirts that are available. That are the Tomahawk Champion T-shirts. So it's been fun. I'm just happy these kids get to experience this because it's what high school's about. High school sports, have the rivalries, have the championships with the conference, and just have fun being a kid.
Well, let's go get a conference championship Friday night. All right.
Yeah, that's our goal.
All right. Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, back with more The Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Back on the Coach's Cage, and batting cleanup as he always does to finish off the show. It's Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Kirk, we were up there last week, 3KG, and it was a long night at KB, let's put it that way. 33-0 Andrean, but the game took forever, a lot of penalties, and tell us your thoughts on the game.
Well, it was, first of all, I thought our kids gave a lot better of an effort last Friday against Andrean than the previous week against Hobart. For some reason, we just didn't show up, and for whatever reason. But we got back to work, and I think we had a better effort against Andrean, even though the score was 33-0. Andrean got a lot of big plays. You take a look at the film, and that we were maybe a little bit less aggressive at some times pursuing the football, or you always look at things that you can do versus what's being done to you. But I thought overall, if you don't have any control over it, if it doesn't matter, then don't make it matter. And I think we allowed some things to matter and become a factor in that game that shouldn't have been. And we lost our focus and lost our discipline and ultimately lost the game. But, offensively, we moved the ball and possessed the ball and, ran some clock and accomplished some things. We just didn't score any points, and I know that's the objective, but when you look at a team that we're working and trying to improve, I think we saw improvement last Friday.
Your sophomore running back has really impressed me with the way he runs and the way he presents himself on the field. He's going to be a good one, isn't he?
Yeah, you talk about an I formation tailback. I think he had, if I remember the stats right, I think he had 31 carries last week. So that's a lot to ask of a sophomore, especially against a quality opponent like Andrean. Then Saturday morning he was probably feeling it pretty good.
I bet, yeah.
But yeah, I mean we got Marco playing running back for us, then Diego was our quarterback, and we got Adrian Utchman playing receiver. We got three quality sophomores contributing at the varsity level. So as far as they're concerned, things look bright for the future. But we got a nice senior class that's hanging in there, and a few juniors thrown in there in the mix. So we're just looking to finish the regular season out strong against Highland this Friday, and then we're at New Prairie for the sectional, so we'll see how things go there. But we're still looking to finish strong this year.
No favors there with that draw.
No, we probably got we definitely got a difficult draw. But again, going back to the comments about the Andran situation, we can't do anything about that. We just play the cards that are right in front of us. So we'll have a good week of practice and see how the cookie crumbles up there.
How important is this week's games?
Well, the message that we sent this week is this game's all about attitude. We've kind of taken it on the chin the past 3 weeks. Things haven't been going our way, and we got a tough draw. So okay, with everything going on, what can we still do? Which has always been our message, is what can we do? What do we control? What do we bring to the party? And go up there to Highland and have a good showing, and it's an opportunity. Highland has vastly improved. They're hungry and they do a lot of things well. So it's an opportunity for us to get a victory, but we're going to have to show up and play well to earn it. So, like I said, this week we'll show a lot about our attitude and about our character.
They're probably a team that had maybe a similar season to you guys. It probably will be who wants that game more, won't it?
Yeah, they're in a similar situation to us. That's a good point you just made, and it's up there at their place. It's senior night for them, so count that for whatever it's worth. But we just got to go up there and believe, and have a great mental effort and a great physical effort, and execute our game plans. And if we do that, I like our chances. But we can't go up there and be timid and make mistakes and expect to win.
Is it hard this last week because you had the sectional draw Sunday? You play in 2 weeks. The tournament starts. Is it hard to focus on this last week or no?
No, I think. Well, you'd like to think that the kids are focused on what's right in front of us. That's certainly the message we're sending. Is you have to focus on what's right in front of you. Every week matters. Every week is a new opportunity, and before we can play, that first round sectional game, we have to play this week 9 game. So, and there's still opportunities there. This is a conference game, and it's an opportunity for us to get, because right now we're 4-4, so we're trying to earn a winning season, and obviously without a win this Friday it'll be impossible. So we need to win this Friday for no other reason than to head into the sectionals with a winning record.
What does Highland like to do? How do they attack the offense?
Well, they're offensively, they primarily like to get the ball on the perimeter, whether that be like a jet sweep type situation or just a quick pass. They multiple receivers on the perimeter, so maybe a quick pass out there, like a reverse. Or, they do run some trick plays, so we're gonna have to be alert for that. But most of their game is on the perimeter, offensively.
So is that you have to change up your defense a lot for somebody like that, or you guys are?
Well, it's just going to be imperative that we get off blocks. We can't stay blocked on the perimeter. We got to get off blocks, and get our interior guys out there on the perimeter as well. It's just basically, guys at the point of attack get off blocks and maintain their leverage on the football while the the rest of the team gets on a pursuit angle and gets out there. Just team effort, running to the football and making tackles. Anytime that you're forced to make a lot of tackles in space, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your defense because you miss a tackle, it's going to lead to yards after a catch and maybe a big score. So, we're going to have to be at our best defensively Friday night.
Give us a report on the younger Cougars. How are they doing?
Well, the freshman team. I'm trying to think what. Oh, they didn't. Okay, that's why they didn't play Andran. That's why I was thinking, but yeah, there was no freshman game against Andran. The JVs went up there Saturday to Andran and won. So our freshmen and JVs, they've got freshmen have Highland tomorrow night, and the JVs have Highland Saturday. So, hopefully they'll both win and they'll finish very strong seasons. Freshmen, I believe, if I'm not missing any, I think the freshmen are still undefeated. So that's good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, winning can become a habit. So that's good that those guys are playing at that level. The 7th grade finished their year out undefeated, so they finished strong. And the 8th grade played last Saturday, and they played better. And you gotta they didn't win any games this year, but they stayed in there. They persevered and showed gradual. Instead of just tanking it and mailing it in, and playing out the season, they showed improvement throughout the year, and that bodes well for their future too. So, if you look at the younger Cougars, things look bright.
Yeah, as long as you can take a class or two that may not be stronger, but you have ones that are below them or above them are strong, then you can mesh them together, then, can't you?
Well, I'm sure we'll get some good football players out of that group, and like you say, and you made a good point there. The class above them and the class below them. So that comes with whatever kind of leadership we'll have in our program by then, and whatever kind of traditions we can get going. Here in these next few years, and continue our mission of changing the culture, and getting them indoctrinated to our way of playing, and just improve every day and every year. But that's a process. Nobody's patient, but that's a process, and it's a process that we started last summer, and we're going to continue.
Kirk, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it, and good luck Friday night. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you much.
Right. Thanks, Coach. Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Back to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage Show on 3kgthecage.com.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Joe Goodman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117, or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics. Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer as we wrap up our Week 8 Coach's Cage show here on 3KG. We want to thank all of the area coaches, 6 area coaches that come out every week without never a question. They're always here, and it's just great their loyalty to our show, and we're able to bring you their thoughts and talk about their team a little bit. And, you know, it's fun this week is always looking forward to the section-owned draw and a little bit of a look ahead and hear some of the stories behind the scenes. So, and of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors who, without them, folks, we wouldn't be here. So we do appreciate their sponsorship and interest in our what we can offer from 3KG Community Broadcasting, and hope that they'll stay with us, and maybe we can spread the word even more. And, of course, we want to thank all the fine people here at Arnie's Pizza, and they just, their hospitality here to the coaches and ourselves is so outstanding that it just makes it a fun event that we look forward to every week. All right, so we're going to have a good contest to look forward to Friday night at Tri-County. Actually, 2 teams that are really kind of anxious for another win. North Newton, they're first. They are still winless, and Tri-County's just got one, and that was back early in the season. So a couple squads that should be pretty evenly matched, and we haven't had too many close contested ball games this year, so we're looking forward. Maybe we'll have one Friday night, and one way or another, it should be 2 teams that are evenly matched will take the field. North Newton at Tri-County. That should be a 6:30 kickoff, so we'll be on the air probably about 6 o'clock in that ballpark. All right, so for my partners Scotty Miller and Bob Kurtz, this is Bill Case saying good night, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.